Hello, this is Meredith Chalemi from Life Steps. Welcome to the Thriving in Place Training Academy PowerPoint, focusing on marketing the program and understanding our Life Steps tools and reviewing a case management scenario. Marketing the program means that we are getting residents and property management excited about the possibilities so that they will want to support and use this program. This begins with us. As a DSS, you are confident because you know how worthwhile this program is. Some Thriving in Place conversations are really personal, but you have gained your residents' trust and you are literally helping them to age in place and to avoid their worst fear, going to the nursing home for permanent placement. We advertise the program in many different ways, including focusing on advertising the Thriving in Place program to management. Walk them through the classes and the case management options that will empower their residents. Ask them how they see the program being helpful to obtain their buy-in and to get them thinking about how cool this all is. Enlist property management to talk up the program with the residents and to give you regular referrals. Remember, they are your eyes and ears and can really promote things when you're away. When you meet with them during site visits, ask them who's fallen, who's been to the hospital, who's returned from a nursing home stay, who isn't looking quite well, who has stopped coming to social activities, and all these kinds of questions that help them get thinking about who can have some extra help. It's also really important to market Thriving in Place to the residents. We need them to support the program and to feel safe using it. A lot of residents are afraid that identifying as needing help to maintain their independence will make them seem old or weak or frail. But the point of the program is really to help them regain strengths and to remain independent. Let them know that. Consider an introductory workshop where you talk about the program and show them all the things that we can do to help them. Emphasize that this program is for everyone at the property. Everyone can benefit from fall prevention, from case management, and from chronic disease prevention and management. Remind residents during socials and educational classes that you are available. During these times, you can give many advertisements about Thriving in Place and remind residents that you are there to help them and their neighbors, again emphasizing that the program is for everyone. And when you're meeting with residents for case management, whether it's counseling or referrals to local programs, make sure to offer Thriving in Place as well. This will help you to do assessments while you're already in people's apartment homes and really help you expand the reach of the program. Now we're going to talk about our case management scenario with resident Frank. Before we get started, please get out your tools. I would like you to have out the Thriving in Place guide, which is a 2-page document, your intake, your fall prevention assessment, and your help at home assessment. If you need to gather those materials, please pause and then resume once you have them. So, Frank is an 81-year-old male. You receive a referral from property management because Frank hasn't been coming to the clubhouse for coffee in the mornings for the past 3 weeks. This is great. This means that your referral process is working with management and their eyes and ears are open to look for resident changes. You visit Frank in his apartment and notice that it is dark and that he seems quiet and tired. His wife tells you that she is very overwhelmed because Frank isn't taking care of himself like he used to. He hasn't even showered in a week. And as you look around the apartment, you see that there are pictures of Frank's children and grandchildren hanging on magnets from the refrigerator. You make a mental note that Frank seems to have family and friends that may be able to get involved and be a resource in his care plan. Next, you review the Thriving in Place Case Management Guide with Frank and his wife. This 2-page handout, or 1-page front and back, shows all the things that we can do to help Frank. First, you review the box on the first page on the left, the Help at Home assessment. And you can talk about our supports and ideas for help with dressing, eating, walking, toileting, hygiene, shopping, housekeeping, accounting, food preparation and cooking, using the telephone, medication management, and transportation. Over on the box on the right of the Thriving in Place guide, you talk about our fall prevention assessment and how we can help with home modification ideas, balance and mobility, physical therapy and occupational therapy referrals, and appointments with healthcare providers. On page 2 of our Thriving in Case Management guide, you show that we also have help at home care provider options, engaging with family and friends, Medi-Cal, home health, hospice care, private pay agencies, Older American Act homemaker services, community groups and churches, and disease-specific help. The next box talks about Medi-Cal eligibility, and then the last box on our Thriving in Place guide talks about Medicare plan evaluation. This guide is important because it gives the resident an overall view of what you may be able to help with as necessary, and it also is a good reminder of all the things that you can be looking for as you provide case management. Next, using the case management intake tool, you get information about Frank's age, income, the community resources that he's already using, transportation availability, his support system, his healthcare needs, and his ability to live independently. The last question on the intake asks Frank about falls. He admits he fell about 4 weeks ago in the bathroom. He is now scared to take a shower and is feeling depressed about aging. The intake may seem like a hassle in the short run, but over time it will save you lots of effort for you and your client because you'll have all the information that you need in one area. This is the time to ask Frank for a release of information signature so that you can assist with referrals as needed. If he chooses to sign or not to sign, make a note in your case logs so that you have evidence that the release of information was discussed. So, you've spent time with Frank reviewing our Thriving in Case assessments. You have explained the options to him, and you have conducted a fall prevention home assessment, also known as a home environmental assessment, that shows that Frank is at risk for falls in his bathroom. You know this because, as part of the assessment, you have observed Frank getting in and out of the bathtub and up and down off the toilet, and see that he is not steady on his feet and that he's grabbing for the walls to steady himself. Not safe at all. So, Frank completes a home modification request with management. Grab bars are installed for the toilet and shower. Much safer. In terms of toileting, Frank receives a toilet seat riser and shower bench from his Medicare savings plan. Also much safer. Both of these modifications have led to outcomes on the home environmental assessment and home modifications complete. The Help at Home assessment, which is the one-page document, tells us that Frank and his wife also need help with cleaning the apartment. They're really struggling in this area. You help them realize that it's fine and okay to ask family for help, and the family agrees to come every other week to help with housekeeping. This is home help unpaid that is received, and that's another outcome. All of these things will help Frank and his wife thrive in place. Let's look at additional care planning with Frank. Frank may be depressed. He said that he feels depressed about aging, and we know that one of the signs and symptoms of depression is withdrawing from social opportunities. We have our chronic disease education, and in that we have a life steps class called Depression Sign in Older Adults. Feel free to pause, to locate that on the portal, and to review it. You go over this class with Frank and his wife, and the next step that you recommend is that he visit his primary care physician to discuss the fall that he's had, the modifications that he's already made, and his possible depression. Next, you provide support for Frank's wife. She's told you that she's feeling overwhelmed, so you do an intake with her and develop her own care plan, including a connection to the Caregiver Resource Center that provides counseling for caregivers, respite care, and other supports. Next, we want to work on increasing socialization. We want to motivate Frank and his wife to rejoin coffee time and bingo, and to even consider volunteering a little bit to help others, which can also improve mood and health care outcomes. Now, all of this is not going to probably happen in one visit. This is going to take several case management contacts over time. But look at how much you've accomplished with Frank and his wife. With all of these interventions, they are safer in their home. They're able to get housekeeping done. They're able to re-engage with their community and also have a connection with their primary care physician to address chronic issues. If you have any ideas on Thriving in Place, questions or concerns, or areas in which you need additional support, please reach out to your supervisor or feel free to contact me at meredith@lifestepsusa.org or at my phone number, which is 949-943-7004. Thank you so much for joining me during this PowerPoint presentation.